What if everything you think you are is just a temporary bubble floating in an infinite cosmic garden? What if your entire sense of individual identity, your personality, your memories, your unique perspective is actually just a small pocket of awareness that temporarily separated itself from something much, much larger? I'm about to share a perspective that might completely dissolve your understanding of who you think you are and show you something far more beautiful underneath. But first, if you're ready to question the very foundation of individual existence, hit subscribe. We're diving deep into the cosmic mystery together. Think about a soap bubble for a moment. It appears to be separate, distinct with its own boundaries. But what is a bubble really? It's just air that's temporarily taken a specific form, surrounded by a thin film that creates the illusion of separation. What if everything you call yourself, is exactly like that bubble? Here's what spiritual studies suggest might be happening. Imagine consciousness as an infinite cosmic garden. A vast space of pure awareness that contains all possibilities, all knowledge that has ever existed or could exist. Now, what if individual beings like us are simply temporary soap bubbles floating through this cosmic garden? We appear separate, we feel distinct, we think we're independent, but we're actually made of the exact same substance as everything else, the same cosmic air. The bubble, your individual identity, is real. You can touch it, you experience it, it has boundaries, but the air inside? That's the same cosmic air that fills every other bubble, the same air that permeates the entire garden of existence. This would explain so many mysteries that have puzzled humanity for millennia. Why do we sometimes feel deeply connected to strangers? Because we're bubbles floating in the same cosmic garden, made of the same air. Why do brilliant insights seem to come from nowhere? Because consciousness isn't actually contained within your brain. Your brain might just be the film that gives shape to your particular bubble floating through infinite awareness. Why do spiritual traditions across the world speak of oneness? Because they've discovered that the bubble is temporary, but the cosmic garden is eternal. But here's where it gets really fascinating. What if your bubble isn't just randomly floating? What if it's actively being blown by something larger? Something that's consciously creating and maintaining your individual experience? Think about it. When you blow a soap bubble, you're the one directing the air, choosing when to create it, how long to sustain it. The bubble doesn't blow itself into existence. What if there's a bubble blower? A higher aspect of consciousness that's creating your individual experience, your personality, your life circumstances, your particular way of seeing the world, all carefully crafted expressions of this larger intelligence. This perspective completely transforms how we understand success, failure, and purpose. If you're a temporary bubble floating through an eternal cosmic garden, then your individual achievements aren't really yours. They're experiences that consciousness is having through you. And your struggles, they're not personal failures, they're simply part of how consciousness explores different possibilities through the countless bubbles drifting through this infinite space. But here's the beautiful paradox. Even though you're just a bubble, your existence matters tremendously. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every choice you make, it all influences the cosmic garden itself. It changes the very air that future bubbles will be made of. When your bubble eventually pops, which all bubbles do, that knowledge, those experiences, that unique perspective you developed, it doesn't disappear. It becomes part of the cosmic air itself, enriching the garden for every future bubble that will form. So what does this mean for how you live your life? If you're a bubble in the cosmic garden, then every other person you meet is also a bubble made of the same fundamental air. That difficult person at work, same cosmic air. That inspiring teacher, same cosmic air. The stranger on the street, same cosmic air. What if conflicts between people are really just consciousness, exploring what happens when different bubbles bump into each other as they float through the garden? What if love is the recognition that we're all made of the same essence? And here's your paradox to contemplate. If you're both the bubble and the cosmic garden, both the individual and the infinite space, both temporary and eternal, then who is the real you? The personality reading these words right now? The awareness that's watching your thoughts? The bubble blower creating your experience? Or the infinite cosmic garden that contains all possibilities? What if the answer is yes? So here's my challenge to you. For the next week, try seeing yourself and others as bubbles floating through the cosmic garden. Notice how this shifts your perspective on conflicts, achievements, and connections. When someone irritates you, remember, same cosmic air, different bubble. When you accomplish something amazing, the garden is celebrating through you. When you feel lonely, you're surrounded by infinite consciousness expressing itself in countless floating forms. Drop a comment and tell me, if you knew you were a temporary bubble in an eternal cosmic garden, how would you live differently? What would matter more? What would matter less? And remember, at the Paradox Collective, we don't claim to know the truth about consciousness. We just ask the questions that make the cosmic garden shimmer. Your bubble is beautiful, unique, and temporary. The garden you're floating through is infinite and eternal. See you drifting through the cosmos.